I can't imagine that anyone knew the Seti First Temple and the Osirion better than Dorothy Eady, also known as Omm Sety. So what did she say about the Osirion? Well, I found 3 quotes from her, so I'm just going to read them to you, and then we'll do a little summary at the end. This first quote is from a joint collaboration between her and Hani el-Zahini. This imposing subterranean building is one of the great puzzles of Egyptian archaeology. Frankfurt made sondage pits around the outside walls of the main hall. At the bottom he found pottery of the Archaic period and early Old Kingdom. There was no more pottery until very near the present ground level when the pots of the 30th dynasty were found. These suggested that in the period between these dates, the monument was buried in sand and inaccessible. Perhaps the structure was built during the early 4th dynasty, maybe by Khufu himself. Maybe it became neglected and buried under the sand after the downfall of the Old Kingdom and was rediscovered when Seti's men were digging the foundations for his temple, and so forced them to change the plan of the latter. Lying behind the eastern wall of the Great Hall is another transverse hall. It is exactly the same as the one on the western side, except that this hall had no connection originally with the rest of the building. Its present entrance is through a hole in the back wall of the central square cell of the eastern wall of the hall, and this hall was forced through in modern times. Yet, during the reign of Seti I, this transverse hall must have been accessible, as he had decorated its saddle roof with a wonderful scene of the sky goddess Nut stretched out over the world. About 20 years ago from the time of writing, the western part of the temple of Seti I was in danger of collapsing, so 14 great piers of steel and concrete were sunk into the ground to below water level between the western wall of the temple and the eastern wall of the transverse hall. But during this operation, no connecting passage or stairway linking the 2 buildings was discovered, so we still do not know how Seti's men got in to decorate the roof. And another quote, which may be from Omm Sety, but of this I am not 100%. One night, in a dream, King Seti was led by Osiris to the edge of the desert and asked, not ordered, to build him a temple there. In doing so, the Osirion was rediscovered. And her final quote, which came from one of her dreams, was, I asked His Majesty about the Osirion, and he said, No, I didn't build it. It is very much older and existed long before my time. So where does that leave us? Well, it certainly looks like Omm Sety believed that the Osirion was a lot older than the temple of Seti I. So let's just call this another little piece of the jigsaw puzzle of this amazing, mysterious site.